Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to be looking at a charging RC circuit that has been given to us right here. And we have a DC battery supply that provides us with a potential V0, a resistor with a resistance R, and a capacitor with a capacitance C, all connected in series with an open switch right here. And we've been given, we want to find out if we close the switch at time t equals 0, we want to find out what the current in the circuit is as a function of time, and we want to find the charge that will be stored across a capacitor as a function of time. And to proceed to find out these functions, we need to solve Kirchhoff's rule. So Kirchhoff's rule tells us that the potential drop across all the individual elements in this circuit, so the potential drop across the battery, across the resistor and the capacitor, has to add up to zero. So Kirchhoff's law is written mathematically in the following form, that the summation of all the potential differences in the circuit has to be equal to zero. So let's find out what the voltage drop across the resistance R and the capacitance C is. So for the voltage drop across the resistance R, it can be simply calculated from Ohm's law, which tells us that the potential drop across the resistor is equal to the current that is flowing times the value of its resistance. And for voltage drop across the capacitance, we know that the charge that is stored in the capacitance Q is equal to the product of its capacitance C and the potential across it, that is V. So rearranging that, we can derive the potential drop across voltage drop across C as Q by C. And so let's before proceeding forward with Kirchhoff's law, let's try to find out what the general behavior of this circuit will be once we close the switch. So when we close the switch at time t equals 0, the capacitor is initially uncharged. And so what will happen is it will allow all the current to flow in the circuit, since it doesn't have any charge and hence it doesn't have any potential difference generated across it. But as the current flows in the circuit, slowly the capacitor starts getting charged. And because the capacitor has now a charge within it, since the charge increases, the potential drop across the capacitance increases. And what will happen is it will generate a potential difference of its own that will oppose the battery, and as a result, the current will slowly start decaying in the circuit. If we were to plot the current roughly, it would start at the maximum value, and the maximum value would be when the capacitor behaves as a straight wire and allows all the current to flow in the circuit. So at that point, the current in the circuit would simply because of the resistor, and that can be easily calculated as V naught over R. And then eventually the current would decrease, and it would at some time point get all the way down to zero. And we'll discover this, but the trend of this behavior is as follows. It has an exponential decay, but we'll derive this as we go. And the charge that is stored in the capacitor. So initially, as the capacitor is uncharged, we will have zero charge inside the capacitor, and the charge that is stored rises in the following manner, and it attains a maximum value. And the maximum value that it attains can be easily found out, since once the capacitor is completely charged, it will have a potential that is equal to V naught, since it will store enough charge such that it opposes the battery completely. So the potential difference across the capacitor will be equal to V naught. And since we know the potential difference across the capacitor, we can use the formula of Q equals CV and determine that the maximum charge that is stored across the capacitor is equal to C into V naught. Since the potential difference at the maximum charge will be equal to V naught, and hence the charge can be determined as C into V naught. But let's try to find the equations of these evolution of current and charge with time. So as I said, we have to solve the Kirchhoff's law for that. So let's do that. So we substitute the values of the potential drop across the battery as V naught, minus the potential drop across the resistor as minus IR, minus the potential drop across the capacitance as Q over C is equal to 0. And we have to solve this further. So here we'll use one identity that we know, is which is that the current that is flowing in the circuit is equal to the rate of change of charge with respect to time. and we'll substitute I as dq over dt in this equation. So let's do that. So we now have v naught minus dq over dt into r minus q over c is equal to 0. So let's do some algebra. Let's shift the first and the third term on the right hand side, and when we do that, we get v naught minus q over c is equal to dq over dt into r. And let's simplify this further, and we multiply v naught here by multiply and divide it by c. So we get cv naught minus q over c is equal to dq over dt into r. Now further dividing both sides of the equation by r, we get cv naught minus q over rc is equal to dq over dt. Now let's rearrange this. Let's take dt on the left side and take the numerator here on the right hand side down here. So we get dq over cv naught minus q is equal to rc. Excuse me, that is 1 over rc into dt. Now let's integrate both sides of this equation. So on integrating, so for the left side, we have a general form that is of the form of dx over a minus x, and the answer of this integral is equal to ln of a minus x, or rather minus of ln, which is the natural logarithm. So minus the natural logarithm of a minus x. So here in our integral, a is corresponds to cv naught and x is the variable charge. Um, so when we integrate the left side, we get minus the natural logarithm of cv naught minus q, and the integral of the right side is pretty straightforward. Since r and c are constant with respect to time, they get out of the integral, and the integral dt would then just be equal to t. So we have t over rc plus a constant of integration. Let's denote it by m, right? So first, before moving further, we need to find out what m is. And to find out what m is, we'll be using an initial condition that we saw earlier. So we'll use an initial condition, and the initial condition that we'll be using is that we know that the charge that is stored in the capacitor is 0 at time t equals 0, and we can use this to our advantage in the equation that we just derived. So we'll use the initial condition that at time t equals 0, the charge that is stored in the capacitor is also equal to 0. So substituting q is equal to 0 on the left hand side and t equals 0 on the right hand side, we get that minus ln of cv naught is equal to m, and this is in a bracket. So we now have the value of m, so let's substitute that in our equation. So we have now minus ln of cv naught minus q is equal to t over rc minus ln of cv naught. Now let's do some quick algebra. Let's take the exponential, or first let's multiply the minus sign on both sides. So we have, we multiply both sides by minus 1 and get the following step. And now let's take the exponential of the equation on both sides. So taking the exponential on both sides, so let's write it down as exponential on both sides. We get the exponential and the natural logarithm cancel out, and we get cv naught minus q is equal to exponential of minus t over rc plus ln of cv naught. And the sum inside the exponential term can be written as the product of two exponentials. So let's do that. Exponential of ln of cv naught. And again, the exponential and the logarithm cancel out right here, and we get that. Let's make some arrows, and we get that cv naught minus q. We had it here, and cv naught minus q is equal to exponential of minus t over rc into cv naught. On rearranging even further, that is, we take this term on the left hand side and take the charge on the right hand side. And I write the charge on the left hand side this time. So we get Q is equal to CV naught 1 minus exponential of minus T over RC. And again, as we discussed earlier, this term CV naught corresponds to the maximum charge that can be stored inside the capacitor. So we can also write it as Q naught. So Q is equal to Q naught, where Q naught is the maximum charge, so max charge that can be stored in the circuit, and Q is equal to Q naught, and then for this term we'll write it in the form of 1 minus exponential of minus T over tau. And here tau is equal to, let's write it by red, tau is equal to RC, and this tau is the time constant for our RC circuit, and the time constant tells us how fast the charge will rise in the circuit. And let's remember that the time constant depends on the product of resistance and the capacitor. So depending on their values, tau will determine how fast the charge rises in this circuit. If we have a small resistance and a small capacitor, this will rise very quickly, and for a large resistance and for a large capacitor, this will rise slowly. And it makes sense because larger resistance and larger capacitance will take more time to charge, and more will allow less current to flow. So the charge will rise slowly in the circuit. So we now know what the current in the circuit is as a function of time. Let's find out what the charge in the circuit is as a function of time. So oh sorry, excuse me, what the current in the circuit is as a function of time. So let me write it with red. So we now want to find out the current in the circuit. So again, to find out the current in the circuit, we will use another relation that we used earlier, which was that the current in the circuit is simply equal to the rate of change of charge in the circuit as a with time. So we use that right here when we substituted I as a derivative of charge with respect to time. So to find out the current in the circuit, we need to differentiate the equation for charge with respect to time. So let's start doing that, and we get d over dt of q naught 1 minus exponential of minus t over tau. So let's multiply q naught with both the terms. So we get q naught minus q naught exponential of minus t over tau. And the first term q naught is a constant, since we know that q is equal to cv naught. And let me also mention that here. So q naught is equal to cv naught. And c is a constant and v naught is a constant. Therefore, q naught is a constant with respect to time. So what will happen is when we differentiate the first term, we get 0. And when we differentiate the second term q naught, we get minus q naught, and then the derivative of the exponential is as it is minus exponential of t over tau. But then we use the chain rule and we differentiate the term inside the exponential, and when we do that, we get minus of and we get minus of 1 over tau, and the minus signs cancel out. And again, substituting tau as RC, we'll get the following. So q naught over RC into exponential of minus t over tau. Now we know that q naught over c. So q naught over c can simply be written as v naught, and v naught is the potential provided by the battery. So q naught over c can be written as v naught over r exponential of minus t over tau. And again, v naught over r, v naught over r can be seen here. V naught over r was the maximum current that flowed in the circuit initially when the capacitor is completely uncharged. And v naught over r can also be denoted by I naught, which is the maximum current that flows in the circuit. So let's make that substitution, and let's write the current in the circuit as I is equal to I naught exponential of minus t over tau. And again, I naught is equal to V naught over R. And as you can see, the current in the circuit depends again on the time constant. So if we have a very small time constant of the circuit, the current will dissipate very quickly. Whereas if we have a large time constant, the current will dissipate very slowly. And that is how the time constant, which is the product of R and C, affects our circuit. So we now have derived the charge and the current that will flow in the circuit as a function of time. And that's all that we're going to cover in this video. We'll cover the discharging RC circuit in a separate video. If you like the explanation that was given in this video, please give this video a like. If you have any doubts or recommendations, please leave them in the comments down below. And that's all. Thank you for listening.